Hello everyone, I am Freddie Walton. I've been working on this project called Due North, which I'll be releasing in about a week or so and explaining what that project is. But in the spirit of Halloween, which is just a few days away from when we're shooting this, I wanted to share one of my most memorable experiences that I've gone through. And a quick disclaimer about this, not everything in the story is as it seems, no one was harmed, but I am going to tell you the story as I first experienced it. So, with that being said, I want to set the scene for you a little bit. So I'm currently in LA, but at the time I was living in Colorado. And as cliche as it is, on this night it was raining and it was storming. And anyone who lives in Colorado understands that pretty often during the summer you get these stormy nights. So it was one of those nights we were supposed to hang out with a good friend of ours named Aaron Wright. It is me and my brother Carl. So Aaron calls us up and he says, "Hey, I'd love to hang out." We say, "Absolutely, that sounds fantastic." He says, "Okay, I'm on my way to get you." And then at the time we couldn't drive, so he had to pick us up. And he's coming to get us, and then he gives us another call, and he says, "Well, actually, I'm going to stop by the church. The church is about a mile away from where we are. I'm going to talk to Scotty, who was at the time our youth pastor." We tell him, "Okay, sounds good." And then he calls us like 5 minutes later, and he says, "Actually, you know what? I'm going to pick you up. And I'm actually going to take you with me to see Scotty." And we're like, "Okay, cool, sounds good. Whatever the plan is what the plan is." We get in this white Jeep, we drive to the church, and as we enter into the church parking lot, I see two vehicles, one of which we are in, and the other is Scott's pickup truck. We get into the church, and the way it's set up is you have your top layer, and then you have this series of stairs that go down, and then you enter the bottom layer of the church, the basement. And the first door on the left is Scotty's office. We go in there, we're talking. It's me, it's Carl, it's Aaron, it's Scotty. Just kind of having a good guys' night. It's a fun time, right? And as we're talking, there's this girl who walks by. Now it seems that I'm the only one who sees the girl. Now I don't think anything of this. It seems perfectly normal, and she kind of is cute. So I just kind of make the mental note. Cute girl walked by. Perfect. 2 minutes later, the same girl walks by from the same direction. I still don't think anything about this, but I do notice again how cute she is. So I turn to Scotty and I go, "Scotty, did you see that cute girl who just walked by?" And he goes, "What girl? She shouldn't be here. No one should be in the church. It's supposed to be just us." Now my first thought, somebody about to get in trouble. Somebody done messed up. So I'm kind of excited just because I need some drama in my life this evening. And we get up, we walk outside, and the girl who I saw go by is completely gone. And the way it works is there's this long hallway, and we have our half turned on. It's lit. And then right where the light meets the darkness, there's a different girl. This girl's wearing sort of a white blouse, and her hair is hanging down in front of her face. Creepy. We're starting to freak out a little bit. None of this makes sense. I don't quite understand what's happening, but we start asking her, what are you doing here? Who are you? What's going on? Scott's freaking out because someone's in the church who shouldn't be in the church. And now this is the second girl who's in the church because I saw the first one and this is a different one. As we start walking towards them, Carl freaks out. He runs back into Scotty's office and he grabs a baseball bat. He comes out, and since I'm in front of everyone, I grab the baseball bat from him. And I'm walking towards the girl, and I go, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And she goes, "Help me, Trey. Help me." Now, my name is Trey. That's my nickname. Right? That's what my family calls me. That's what the people at the time called me. So she goes, "Help me, Trey. Help me." So I'm asking her, "How do you know my name? How do you know who I am?" And I start walking towards her, and she slowly turns and then walks off into another hallway. So I don't know what overcame me, but in my head it was like you gotta keep the enemy in sight kind of situation. And so I immediately sprint down this hallway, and as soon as I turn the corner, it is a dark hallway that is only lit by one green exit sign. And she is gone. And there's just 3 different doors in this dark hallway that are all closed. And so I wait for everyone to catch up to me. Finally, we start going through. Now, Aaron, who is the son of the pastor who works at this church, he gets on the phone and he starts calling, "Hey, Dad, someone broke into the church, like someone's in the church, you need to call the cops now." And I'm running through and I'm opening the doors. Now, I don't know what's going on, but I'm freaked out entirely. So I am opening up every door and I'm kicking it in. Now, I normally wouldn't want to hurt a woman, but I'm too freaked out. So I'm assuming if she's behind the door, we're going to find out. So I'm kicking open the door after door after door. She is nowhere to be seen. Okay. And then I turn the corner. And as I turn this corner, there is a large stairway. And at the top of this stairway, there's this big window, kind of like classic church-sized window. And again, it's raining and it's storming, so just you see lightning and you hear thunder. And at the top of the stairway, the girl is not to be seen, but there is a hooded man, and he is crouched down. And as I look up at him, his face just turns up. He looks at me. He stands up, he turns and he walks away. At this point, we're freaking out. And we're turning on the lights as we run through the church. But as we turn on the lights are turning back off. Aaron's like, who's turning off the lights? And I freak out when I see this person at the top of the stairs. So I kind of recoil. I wait for everyone to come back up. And Scotty, the youth leader at the time, he just runs past me and he says, man, I gotta get out of here. And he runs past us, runs up the stairs, exactly where the hooded man went, and he turns the corner. Now I'm thinking we have to go after Scotty, so I go after him. Carl goes after me. And then as we get to the top of the stairs, Scotty ain't anywhere to be seen. And then we look behind us, and Aaron is gone. So now it's just me and Carl. We're trying to find them. We're trying to look for them. We have no idea where they go. We're coming out from the back of... So now we're at the main stage. It's where you would worship in the church. We're behind it now. Okay, that's already a creepy place to be no matter what. But we get into the main area and... I actually have to say, as we were running up the stairs, running after Scott, there is a piercing scream from a girl. I mean, it fills the whole room. Just someone is screaming at the top of their lungs. So Scotty disappears. We get to the top. Aaron's gone. And now we're in this middle sanctuary area. And I want to go to the left, which is a hallway that'll lead us back down the stairs, back to where we started, because our friends are gone and we need to find them. That's my main concern. As I look to the left, there is a woman at the end of that hallway who is crawling on all fours straight towards us down the hallway. I look at Carl and I say they're coming. And he freaks out. This is a little too much for him to handle at the time. He freaks out and he bolts out the door. Now my first thought, although my friends are gone and I want to find him, my first thought is I can't split up with the last person that I'm alive with. I need to stick with him at least. And so he runs out of the door and I run after him and I'm yelling at him. You know, we gotta go back for him. We gotta go back for him. Throw me your phone. Throw me your phone. And we're running and it's raining and it's thundering and it's lightning and he sets down his phone and then he keeps on going. And as I get to the phone, I look back behind me and I see people slowly flooding out of the church. And I recognize that I know these people. And I see Scotty and I see Aaron and I see Jonathan Grease, who was a good friend of mine. I see Ariel, I see Bobby, I see Joey, I see all the people that we go to church with coming out of the front doors. And so I realized at this moment that we were just duped in the mightiest of ways. And I first go up to John, and the first thing I do is put my hand against his neck because I don't even know what I'm feeling at this point. I just went through some shit. And he kind of puts his hand up at everyone and tells everyone it's calm down, it's good. He looks at me and he says, it's over. And there's a little bit of a break. And I go, it was a fucking good one. And then I look at Carl. Poor Carl. Carl broke down. This is too much for him. It was a lot for him to handle. He wouldn't go into the church for a long time after this. But we realized that they had orchestrated, they had a plan to prank somebody, and Aaron didn't even know about it when he was coming to pick us up. But as soon as he told Scotty that he was coming over, they said, well, what if we have Carl and Trey be the subjects of this prank? And so it worked beautifully. And the funny thing about that scream is that it wasn't planned. So JG, who was my sparring partner at the time, we both were into martial arts. He knows me very well, and he knows that in fight or flight, I often choose to fight. And he had said that you need to have a man set up with every woman, because if somehow Freddie is convinced this stuff is some extra dimensional shit, he will freak out and he will charge. And so he said we need to have men set up with every woman. And one of the girls wasn't prepared for the man to be there waiting for her, and so she legitimately turned a corner and she was terrified. And so the scream that we heard was her genuine scream that was not planned, and it didn't give the prank away, it just added another layer of thickness to it. And so yeah, that was one of the greatest pranks that had ever happened to me. It's kind of unique in the way that I get to say that I know how I would react in a circumstance like that. It's a rare thing to have happen. It's a rare thing to go through. But it's one of my favorite stories to date. I'm happy that it happened to me, and it was a damn good prank. And I hope that one day I can have a prank just as good. But with that being said, thank you for listening. Like I'm going to talk about what I'm doing in about a week from now. But in the spirit of Halloween, I just had to release something like this. So you guys have a good night. Happy Halloween.